I recently put down a deposit with Tesla for both solar and Powerwall, and through the process so far, I've learned some information that I wish I had known ahead of time. So today I'm going to share 5 things you should know before ordering Tesla Solar. Welcome everyone, my name is Zack and I make videos about sustainability and electric vehicles, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. So the first thing I wish I had known before ordering solar through Tesla is that there are other sizing options besides the 4 sizes they list on the website. Tesla seems to imply that they only offer solar panels in increments of 4 kilowatts. As you can see, they list 4, 8, 12, and 16 kilowatt options. I stared at this website for many months trying to decide if I wanted to go for the 4 kilowatt or the 8 kilowatt size, because in reality, I thought I needed something in between. 4 would likely be too small and 8 was likely too much. But since I wanted to fully offset my energy usage, I selected the 8 kilowatt size when putting my deposit down. And then after speaking with my project advisor at Tesla, I learned that the sizing options they advertise are not actually all they're willing to do. They will assess your energy bills and roof layout and design a system that's optimized for your specific situation. So if a 6 or 7 kilowatt system is perfect for you, they will do that no problem. The downside here is that every time they have to redesign your system layout due to tree locations or sizing changes, it takes time. For me, each iteration has taken at least a few weeks to get through their design team. Number 2 on this list complicates this even further. Most electric utility companies have a limit on how large of a system you can install and still connect to their electric grid. I didn't fully understand how this worked before putting my deposit down and speaking with Tesla. Basically, the solar provider has to calculate your average annual household electricity usage in kilowatt hours, and then they calculate the expected annual energy production from the solar system they are going to install. In my case, the electric provider limits solar sizing to a maximum of 20% more than your calculated energy usage. So basically, you can only oversize it by 20%, or the electric company will veto the plans. This isn't necessarily a big deal for people that have lived in a house for a number of years and have a lot of data from their electric bills. But unfortunately for me, that is not the case, since I moved in earlier this year and kind of took a while to get settled, so my usage history isn't very representative. Not to mention that I moved in during the spring when my electricity usage was very low. Long story short, the few months of bills I had to reference showed that I could really only install a 4 kilowatt system, which I knew was going to be a lot smaller than I really needed. None of my bills included any AC usage, and I was barely driving my car at the time, so my charging needs were super low. So through talking with my project advisor at Tesla, he basically said that we could wait until I had more bill history, or we could try to justify a larger sizing to the electric company using averages based on the square footage of the house and average usage from added things like an electric car. This method can be a bit trickier though and can take longer to get through approval. I'm actually still in the process of trying to size my solar system due to these headaches. I'm also looking at replacing my ancient AC unit with a heat pump, which will greatly increase my electricity usage in the winter. So we're trying to figure out the best way to justify that to the energy company without waiting until after next winter to install the solar system. I think we're gonna get there, but it has certainly taken much longer than expected. Next up is that I don't think people that are casually looking at Solar and Powerwall understand that you're likely going to need more than one Powerwall if you want to actually be self-sufficient. And this isn't just because a single Powerwall can't hold enough energy, it's also because they can only charge and discharge at a certain rate. For the Powerwall 2 that Tesla sells now, the advertised limit is 5 kilowatts for charging and discharging, but Tesla recently increased this a bit depending on the temperature of the battery. But let's just use 5 kilowatts as an example for when the battery is too cold to take advantage of these increases. If you had an 8 kilowatt solar system with a single Powerwall, you would only be able to charge the battery at 5 kilowatts. And the same goes for using the energy. If it was at night and you had an electric stove on and maybe an electric dryer as well, the Powerwall wouldn't be able to discharge enough current to power both appliances at the same time, and you'd pull energy from the grid instead to make up the difference. That's what Tesla tries to explain on their website, but they don't make it super clear. What's cool about battery storage like Powerwall is that it's modular. So if you add a second one, it doubles the power it can take for charging and discharging. So now you'd be limited at 10 kilowatts. If you had 3, it'd be 15 kilowatts, and so on. But from what I've seen, 2 or 3 Powerwalls seems to be the sweet spot for most people's needs. I think 1 is really only useful for people looking for a short duration battery backup during a power outage, and not really for people that want to store their own solar energy and not rely on the electric grid. The first Powerwall is actually the most expensive too, and that's because it includes the gateway module and brains of the home energy system, as well as the installation. So you can see here on the website that the first Powerwall is priced at $10,500, but jumping to 2 is just $17,000. So each additional Powerwall after the first is $6,500. And being modular, it's easy to add another later on if you want to. Fourth up on the list of things I wish I had known before ordering Tesla Solar is that getting a hold of an actual person at Tesla can be challenging. At least at first. I first put my deposit down on a Sunday, and by Monday afternoon I had 2 emails from Tesla, and it seemed like they were all over it. I replied to the email from my supposed project advisor that night, and then I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. At that point, I actually tried numerous times to reach out again to this project advisor, both through email and the phone, and I got nothing. Then I tried the generic Tesla Solar line and was eventually redirected to a living being, and it was my actual project advisor from my local Tesla branch. It turns out that the person that emailed me first was someone back in California that seems to be assigned to thousands of people and are never actually intended to be your point of contact through the process. So that would have been nice to know ahead of time so I didn't waste those 2 weeks waiting for a response. But all that said, once I got in touch with my actual project advisor, things have been much smoother, and he's been extremely responsive as we work through the solar sizing issues that I mentioned earlier. So my advice for anyone that recently put an order in or plans to soon is just to give it a couple days and then start calling Tesla to find out who your actual project advisor is and get their direct email and phone number. Alright, so last on the list is that Tesla changes the financing options quite frequently, so if that's something you're looking for, keep an eye on it. When I was looking earlier this year at solar options, Tesla was offering various loan terms, including 5, 10, and 20 years, and the interest rates varied a lot between them. The 20-year loan was around 5% interest, and the 10-year loan was 4% interest, and I can't remember exactly what the 5-year loan was since I wasn't really looking at that one, but I know it was less than 4% being the shortest duration. Anyway, around the beginning of June, they switched it up and added a 10-year loan with 0.99% interest, which seemed to me like a heck of a deal, so that's what prompted me to put my deposit down. I should also mention that for this specific deal, you do have to put a minimum of 10% down, whereas before I think it was 0% down. And yes, technically I knew all of this before putting my deposit down, but I wanted to add it to this list to let everyone know that these options do change, and you might be able to ask Tesla about previous offers if they get rid of the current deal. Or if none of the options sound appealing when you're looking, they will likely change in the future, and it can't hurt to call Tesla and ask if any other options are out there. And if you are considering ordering Tesla Solar and want to support me and my channel, you can use my referral link down below when making your purchase, and you'll get $100 off your system. Let me know down below if you have any questions, and make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more. Regardless, that's all for today, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.